Good morning, good evening, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is GP Kieran, DWP. I go by many names. Usually, I think I'm leaning towards the server soundboard at the moment simply because making funny noises is fun. I like doing it, and it's good. But hey, this is a 12 FPS, and it's not just me here today. I'm not doing a Kraken, unfortunately, not yet at least. Would my lovely, wonderful partner in crime like to introduce themselves and their character, and we can get the ball rolling?
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Mira, and I will be playing Sammy Satomi today.
Hey, he is
The Rainbow Boy.
a rainbow sun. He has arrived. He is here.
Da 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 da.
Um,
Okay. uh, it is a snowy, kind of cold, wintry day in the outskirts of Villestown. Sammy is currently kind of trying to lay low with his brother Arata, but Arata has had a late night doing his own adventuring stuff, so he is currently asleep. Sorry, my voice is a little there's a little bit of stuff in my throat. Anyways, so so
you're valid, and I pat you.
this is what I get for eating bacon in the morning. Anyways.
But consider bacon is really good.
Bacon is really good. But anyways, so Sammy has decided to leave the House of Paint for a bit of a jaunt, kind of enjoy the wintry air, this fine winter morning. He is very decked up in cozy clothing. He's wearing currently I gotta remember what I drew him in. A dress that's kind of like it looks kind of oh shoot. One sec, I didn't plan on this, but Sammy was saying, you know what, I want my winter outfit, and I'm like, oh Peck, where's the reference?
Give me the reference, mother. They need to know how pretty I am, and he's valid.
Yeah, that's basically the vibes. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to pull out my iPad because that's where the
whilst
picture
you're doing
is.
that, I'm just gonna do a thing.
All right, I
Um,
just mother pecker. Oh, it's across the room. 1 second.
It's okay, do your thing. Whilst Mira is doing that, man, I was not expecting. Oh, cool, dogs. This is what I want to happen. Man, cool.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Got my
Give me
iPad.
just a moment. I'm really sorry. Someone has just come home. I just need to ask them to keep it down a little bit. I'm really
All right,
so
you're
sorry.
totally fine. That gives me time to find the actual image reference that my brain
I'm
wants
so
me to
sorry.
use. Oh, it's totally fine. Yeah. Just kind of gonna talk to aloud to the audience while I look for this image. It's not very old, though I should be able to find. Aha, here we go. All right, time to export this mother pecker. Share, JPEG, Discord, and
Hello.
hello.
I have returned.
Welcome back. I am really quickly trying to send this into the.
It's okay. You take your dang time.
All right, here we go. He's
It's the boy.
mother pecker. I just sent it into the wrong spot. Whoops. Anyways.
Okay, it's fine. I see him and he's very pretty. He's a gorgeous lad.
Alright, so basically for the audience listening in later on in this, he is wearing a gray kind of, a gray dress that's got kind of little cute poofs at the bottom. He's wearing most of his hair up and tucked underneath this kind of French cap. I don't really know. I used a reference for like more classical, more Victorian slight era dresses, if I remember right. And like underneath is like a black kind of underdress with like it kind of goes up as a turtleneck, and he's wearing gray leggings and black mittens, and the only bits of hair that are actually poking out are his two side bangs, which are red and orange, respectively. And yeah, he's just walking through. He's kind of debating, maybe doing, maybe making a snowman. It's the celebration week of Animas. Things are like pretty nice. He's vibing mostly. It's a good wintry day.
It's been a good time for Sammy, and he's having a good time. It all is good. Could you roll me a perception, please?
All right, let me roll perception. What is your modifier again, my son? Okay, that's a +5. All right. That is a 5 plus 8.
Oh,
13.
Sammy, I will say then. Okay, so it will take you a little bit strolling along the outskirts of Villestown. You said, I believe it was Villestown.
Yep, Villestown.
Yes, the wonderful UPA land. Yeah, you're strolling about the edges, sort of that in between bit between like woodland and open fieldy kind of bits. And with that 13, it takes you a little bit before you hear something rustling about in the undergrowth.
All right. Sammy's an investigative sort. He's gonna poke around.
He is a detective by trade.
Yep.
He cannot help. He must follow strange noise.
Yep. It is nature, and Arata is gonna probably be exasperated at him eventually for his habit of wandering off and finding mysteries.
Look, they have their hobbies, okay? Don't judge each other. You're brothers. You love each other and your hobbies.
Yep.
Have that respect, guys. Oh my gosh.
I will note, actually, that like since Sammy has left the House of Paint while Arata is sleeping, he did leave Arata a note just in case Arata woke up before Sammy came back. He did leave a note. He did leave a note.
Yes, good. Considering, for those who haven't listened, Sammy's passed with some stuff. I think leaving notes would be kind of important.
Yep. Let's for listeners who don't really know Sammy, he has gotten kidnapped multiple times. So
Kidnap magnet, poor lad.
Yep.
But in this particular scenario, you're not getting kidnapped. Luckily, you are just being incredibly nosy and wandering off into the woods like a silly young man. And like a silly young man, you work your way through the underbrush and the undergrowth and through the trees. You don't have to go very far before you find, I haven't drawn it because I didn't have time, but you find something very kind of strange. The first thing you notice as you come through the bracken is what looks to be like a very small clearing of sorts. There's all the trees around because, woods, and under one particular tree there seems to have like a little cleared out space. Most of the snow has been brushed away. It also seems to have been bordered by like stones and sticks and things.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of this little cleared out place looks like a very pitiful looking attempt at a fire.
Oh.
And I will say, as you come into this space, you kind of hear a shuffling noise coming just to your left. Mira?
Okay. I was like,
Mira?
oh no, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I just went quiet. I was like, no, please.
I know, like from the clearing, and then it went dead, and I was like, oh no.
No, dang it.
Like there
can't
was
remember
like
what I said.
someone coming from the side, I think, and then like it
Oh
went
no, that
silent.
was it. I just said from the side view, just to the left, in the clearing, you can kind of hear some noise
Mm,
and coming from over that way.
okay. Uh, yeah, Sammy's gonna like just call out, like, ha- do you need help?
And as you say that, Sammy, you see it's kind of it is surprising you didn't notice this before because uh, despite the fact that the color matches the snow surrounding it, when this thing stands up, as it stands up, you realize, oh, this is not just a snowy little mound that's sitting in this clearing. This thing turns towards you, and Sammy, have you ever met a cockatrice? Have you heard of a cockatrice?
Uh, I'm gonna roll history for him.
For it.
Okay, that is. Wait, I remember I'm using my actual dice. What is your history,
It's
my
okay.
son? Okay, it's a straight d20. Oh boy. Ah, that's a nat one. Okay, yeah, no, he has
Oh, you have no
no
idea what the hell this
idea.
thing is. You don't know what this thing is, Sammy. You know it's very tall. It's got a very white, round, fluffy body. It's got long legs, long neck. No, three long necks, and you can't actually make out any features because it looks like this thing is just covered in snow, and you can tell there are three beaks coming out of it. You think they're beaks. You think they're beaks? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say with all this snow covering it. But as this thing gets up from where it was kind of just sitting in the snow and turns towards you, um, you can um, yeah, it actually kind of just turns towards you and then very slowly starts to make its way over.
Uh, Sammy's just kind of like, oh, Peck, gonna just slowly back away here. I don't know if it's gonna charge me if I turn around and run.
As you back up, Sammy, you back up against the tree. I'm just gonna say you back up against the tree, and this thing is coming again, very slowly, very steadily towards you, cautiously almost, and it gets very close to you. And again, you can't see anything but three very long beaks and a bunch of like snow and then a snowy body and then long legs and this thing is taller than you, Sammy, which is kind of impressive. You're like 6 foot something.
Yep,
um
he's 6 foot,
this thing
period, and he's a little freaked out right now.
and this thing kind of towers over you, and Sammy, as you sort of look up at this thing, you see all three of the beaks start to open, and then you hear a eh, eh, yes! And could you roll me a dex save?
Okay. Okay, what's your plus on that, my son? Okay, that's a +2. Not great. Alright, that is.
That is a whole 8. I'm
Yep.
sorry, Sammy, but you are in direct line of fire as with a great mighty this something gives a great mighty sneeze and you are just poof, showered in snow. And as this sneeze rings out around the clearing, the tree you're under also shakes a little bit, and just for added effect, it's just like a comes on the top of your head. Also, the rest of the snow from this thing seems to have just shifted off onto you, and you'll hear a fellas, boy, I think this was maybe not the best idea, don't you think? Oh, I don't know. I mean, it might be good to ask for help about this sort of thing. Oh, don't be ridiculous. We'll be fine. We just have to start the fire. And yeah, the thing before
Oh,
you is over white.
oh no, they're sick. Oh, bless Bless. Okay. Sammy kind of is just covered in snow now, and like it's just like for comedic effect, I have like this mental image of him just like, you know how in cartoons sometimes when someone gets dumped in snow and they're just like this vague snow
The
person
blinky
shape
eyes.
with the blinky eyes. Yeah, that's Sammy
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
And like it takes a moment, and like he like has to like shake himself free of the snow.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like, are you guys sick?
Sick ass, absolutely. And you just see one of the other beaks clamp over the middle beak, which appears to have a mohawk and was speaking. The one that grabs it is one with feathers. You think they're feathers pointing straight back. As another head, this one with a shaggy mop of what seems to be black feathery hair, with still like a few little snowflakes clinging to it. Says, "Oh, we're not actually, we're not sick. Don't worry. We're pretty tough, you know." And then as this head goes to speak, the middle head claps their beak over that head. So now you've got the left head clapping the middle head, and the middle head clapping the right head. And all of them are just kind of looking at you like, we're fine.
Sammy's gonna roll medicine real quick.
I will also say, for those who don't know, these three-headed birds are Eenie, Miney, and Mo.
My
And
beloved.
Sammy, as they have sneezed.
18.
I will say, as they have sneezed, Sammy, you will notice they are wearing what appears to be 4 scarves and 4 hats. So, with the medicine, despite the fact that they have, in fact, what appears to be one very long, shiny, pearlescent scarf with between their necks, and then one individual scarf around each neck, and then a hat of some sort. For some reason, it's not placed on their heads. It's placed on the top of the ruffs at the base of their neck. And each one of them has a different, like, it's like a beanie hat, and each one of them has a different colored pom pom. So like, there's a red one, there's a blue one, there's a green, yellow one. And then the head with the shaggy hair also has another hat on. It looks kind of like a weird hat, kind of like the long scarf they're wearing. It's kind of ghosty, and it has a yellow band wrapped around it. You're not sure how worn that is. You could tell, despite the fact that they are in fact bundled up, they may in fact have a bit of a sniffle, just a little sniffle.
Oh, just Sammy, like, just they have activated the cleric side. Just Sammy's just like, kind of, he started to do the prayer hands as he started to take everything in, and he's like, okay. All right, I'm gonna help stoke your fire, and we can go from there. So Sammy's gonna really quickly roll survival to see if he can better help. Ooh, 14 plus 5. Hey, the dice are being nice to me.
Whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to do a few rolls. 19! Very nice. So yeah, you easily find twigs and stuff to stoke this thing, and might not be the first time you've had to start a few fires, at least in this manner. Cool, that's what I wanted. By the way, what's your passive perception?
His passive perception is 15.
Cool. So you probably hear noises behind you, but again, you're too distracted with getting the fire sorted to pay attention. And let me see. Where is the thing I want to do? There it is. It's just going to be a straight that. As you're getting the fire sorted and you just spring it to life, you hear from behind you, "Look, we're not sick. In fact, if anything, we'll prove to you we're not sick. We'll show you." And you hear the sound of a throop, of something coming from behind you. Um, and I mean, what's your AC, by the way?
His AC is 14.
Okay, so you feel something thunk, the back of your shoulder, and you can surmise they have thrown a snowball at you.
Just Sammy kind of like, I feel like, stumbles slightly, and then like he does like stumble around the fire, and like he just kind of turns and like eeny meeny miny mo. You get the most unimpressed cleric look of a raised eyebrow and hands on the hips. Mm-hmm.
Um, they look back at you very stubbornly. They continue on. Look, we're not sick, all right. We're rangers. We don't get sick because we're used to roughing it out in the wilds anyway. This will come and go, even if we are sick, which we're not. So you don't have to worry about us. Yeah, come on, we'll prove it to you. I'm gonna, I'm gonna roll from a space. I will also note, because you rolled that medicine earlier, you can see they are a little bit wobbly, like only a little, like you can kind of see their legs slightly shake, but you think that is mostly from cold, and not so much the fact they're going to lose their balance or anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sammy's gonna roll his hammer space, that's a 5, and he pulls out a teapot and puts it over the fire, and then kind of turns around, crosses his arms again, and raises an eyebrow and goes, "Well, you may not be sick, but do you want to come sit around the fire? It's pretty cold out."
As you turn back towards them, you see that the middle head is clear of anything, but the head on the left has a blue glowing plastic sword, and the one on the right has a yellow glowing plastic sword, and they are very slowly making their way over towards you and saying, "Look, we'll show you that we ain't got cold, all right. If you just, come on, we'll give you a quick one too." And as they say that, swords go flying out of their mouth, and poof into the snow below them, and the force of the sneeze actually kind of forces them up into the air a little bit. Their feet come off the ground, and they just hover for a second, and then they just into the snow. And Sammy, you're gonna hear, maybe it might be best if we just had a quick, hot drink or something. Don't really get a hot drink. And as and they get up and they pick up their swords and they just kind of shuffle over to you and flomp down next to the fire, and just kind of, yeah, just do that bird huddle, sitting on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Sammy is going to. Okay, that's 7. He also pulls out a nice, thick, fluffy blanket that's basically a huge comforter. And, like, he took it from the House of Paint a while back. He just hadn't put it back into, probably.
Nice.
Arata and Sammy probably had, like, a blanket nest or something, like, cuddle brother time sometime in the past, but like he probably was like going to pick it up and just put it in his hammer space and forgot about it. So he pulls that out and he drapes it over Eenie, Meenie, and Miney. He drapes it over their bird self.
That's fine. Also, you can just call them M if you want. I know
All right.
the naming convention is difficult. M would be easier. Is fine. Speaking of which, that is a good point. As you drape that blanket over them, they just kind of and slouch a little into the blanket, down further into the ground. And they look over at you and says,
Oh, thanks for the blanket. I mean, we haven't got our own, so you don't have to. We're fine without it anyway. We're rather hardy specimens.
And they kind of try to puff their chest out a bit, but as they try, it just goes and deflates a little. And they
Sammy
look
can.
down at their chest in betrayal, looking
Sammy
back at you and saying, "Sorry, go ahead."
Sammy just kind of gently pats them on the back and like it's just like yeah, I'm pretty sure you are very tough, but cold can down any person. It's okay to need help.
oh, yeah, of course it's alright to need help. I mean, it's just usually we're the ones doing the helping, you see. We're rangers, it's kind of our job.
And as they're saying that, they pick up a stick and just from they pick up a stick with like two of their like nail toes because they're trying not to get their feet from out under them to put them near the cold and the snow, so they're just very like timidly sort of poking at the fire with this very long stick they've got. Before looking back at you says,
Well, I don't know, you might have heard of us. We have been around quite a bit, so the name might be familiar to you. But, we're rescue rangers, you know. We've got our own guild and everything. It's just something that we do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we should probably introduce ourselves.
boys, and I'm going to roll performance because they are a bunch of drama kings. It's a 15. All right. So, despite being sick, Sammy, you see these three kind of clear all their throats, going, and you see them puff their chest out successfully this time and lift their heads up, and you see them kind of just sort of prepare themselves, strike a little pose whilst they're sitting. They all turn their heads to look away from you, and then one by one, the heads turn back to you and says, "My name is Eenie."
My name is Miney. And my name is Mo. And we are the Rescue Rangers.
You just hear a sad little trumpet background noise, and you think there was probably supposed to be like bigger sparks and like a weird shoujo background, but at the moment, it's just the trumpet noise you get.
Sammy actually gives a gentle laugh at that, and his shading is very quickly turning from like a lilac, that because like he was concerned for these birds, and it shifts to this gold airbrushed with rose as he gently pats them, and he's gonna pull out from his counter space. That was a 6. He's pulling out 2 cups of. Well, actually, no. Considering the fact that there are 3 heads, he actually pulls out 4 cups for each head, and
If you want, you can roll insight when you do that. And I will also say, as you pat the side of, I presume you pat the body, like the main
yeah,
fluffy
yeah,
body.
the main fluffy body, the part that he can reach, really. That's an 18.
So you pat their body and it's thick. Like it's like thick and downy. It's like you know how Labradors have many layers to their coats? Like it's thick. You think you could reach your whole arm into this body and not reach the actual like body part. It's fur. It is fur and fluff all the way through this thing. Um and with that insight, which was an 18 hot damn, you see that as you take out 4 cups instead of just one, there's like a slight look of surprise on their face. Like, oh, you have considered that we have 3 heads. That is different. Before they nod at you and say,
Thanks for that. I don't know what exactly you're planning on making, though. I don't know. These two we kind of have our different preferences for things, so if you just want to make one big cup, it's all right. We're used to having to share that sort of stuff.
Sammy kind of blinks at them and kind of well, he kind of looks at them and goes, "Well, right now, I just have some hot chocolate that I can heat up over over the pot, if you'd like."
At the sound of hot chocolate, you see all three of them perk up and say,
Oh, thought chocolate! We haven't had thought chocolate in a while. The last time we had it was from, oh, that travelling puppy dog. They made some really good thought chocolate, although they didn't call it that. But I think they really should. It's a very catchy name, in my opinion. Well, yeah, but not everyone's gonna like your names you come up with, Miney. Yes. Also, I don't think thought chocolate is going to catch on as well as you think. Oh, what do you think there? You're always going to be such a downer, Miney.
and as you're making the hot chocolate, they're just gonna kind of quite between themselves.
And just Sammy just bursts out laughing at that, like just absolute gut deep laughter, and like he just grins up at you. And if you want, you can roll insight.
I will. Is your insight, lads? Is your insight? Oh yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. All right, that's decent. It's not bad. It's 12.
Yeah, like it's not a super high DC. You get the feeling that this tune, kind of down below you, hasn't laughed this hard in ages.
If they see that, all three of the puffs around their necks are gonna puff up even more, and their whole body's gonna just do like the Ghiblian floof, even though they are not Ghiblian. Don't worry about that. They floof. And they look down at Sammy and say,
Well, it looks like we still got our mojo, fellas. Oh, yeah, we're always good for a laugh, ain't we, fellas? Oh, we're bloody good at that, aren't we?
and they kind of chuckle before quieting down and saying, "Oh yeah, Bella, we didn't ask your name, did we?"
Ah, yeah, we should have done that a little while ago, eh? That was a little rude of us, apologies. We're a bit busy being, well, covered in snow.
Being a little, shivery.
Sammy, his laughter finally kind of fades, and he kind of shakes his head and goes, "I forgot to introduce myself after you introduced yourselves. Sammy Satomi, detective."
They kind of like wriggle where they sit, and you just see like the eking of a claw come out, and you don't see any of the leg, you only see the claw, because they are not sticking their leg out in this weather, it's too cold. So you see just the claw poking out from the side of their body, and they say,
Well, I'm Eenie. I'm Miney.
And I'm Mo, and it's a pleasure to meet you. They just hold the claw out for a shake.
Yeah, Sammy's gonna shake that claw, like he's gonna just shake it. He's a toon. He doesn't really blink at this.
Sammy, I love you so much, man. I love this boy.
And he loves M so much. They're a delight. He loves them already.
Oh my gosh. Cool. Whilst that introduction has been is happening, then I'm gonna see. What are they gonna do at the moment? There is a thing they've got that I need to check. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. So what they're gonna do actually, because they are still kind of wearing all of their many scarves and hats.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see Eenie kind of poke their head up and say, "Lads, we should probably," and they jerk their head towards their hats and scarves and say, "We should probably try and dry these out before we actually, get them too soggy to wear anymore."
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, we gotta... Yeah, Mo, you're gonna have to take that off.
But I like the hat.
Yes, I know you like the hat.
Napster bloke made it for me.
Yes, I know they did. Napster Snooze did a good job. But you gotta have it dry out, mate. It's made of phantasmal material. It's not gonna get wet. No, just put the thing near the fire so we can dry it out.
And they all kind of take off the scarves they've got around their necks and put them on a log near the fire. And they each take the beanies from their ruffs off and put those near the fire. And Mo very reluctantly bows his head towards Miney, who very carefully takes the strange hat off of Mo's head and also places it very gently next to the fire. And you have to roll insight. You can kind of see, even though you can't see Mo's face, you can kind of see like the wibble of his beak as he looks at it. And he's like,
oh, be careful with that, Miney. Don't set it on fire. It's not going to set on fire, Mo. It's just made of ghost stuff.
yeah, it's really hard to set ghosts on fire. As he pops it next to the fire. And they look back at you, Sammy, and say,
Sammy, I know you know, not really much of our business, but we're a curious sort of fella, you know. Yes, so if you don't mind us asking, what exactly were you doing wandering around the woods at this sort of, well, time?
Well, my feet like to wander, and I honestly heard you three rustling in the bushes, and then I saw your guys' fire, and I've set a few fires in my time, and it looked like you guys needed a bit of help. And
sorry, continue.
and just you get the feeling that this tune likes helping people.
So as they hear you say wandering feet, you just see all three heads just very slowly nod understanding, say,
Yeah, no, we know about wandering feet. I mean, that's kind of the reason we're a ranger. I mean, going out, exploring things, finding new places.
and you can just sort of see a twinkle come in two of the eyes, and you see like a shine come over the hair from Mo, like his hair just fluffs up a little. As they start talking about like adventuring and exploring and all the sorts of places they get to see because they're a ranger and they can just go where they want, wherever their feet want to take them to travel, and it's great and it's amazing, and oh, you like helping people? They love helping people too. It's their favourite thing. That's what heroes do. It's so good. And they will just kind of go off at you whilst you're making the hot chocolate.
Yeah, like I feel like as they're going off, Sammy starts doling out the hot chocolate, and I'm gonna roll hammer space again, and okay, that was a 10, and he pulls out a bag of marshmallows from his sleeve and looks at all three of them and goes, okay, who wants marshmallows?
Give me a second. I've got to roll something. Okay, cool. So you see Eenie immediately sort of lean their head forward, and then you hear a tuck tuck as two beaks just tap him on the nose and say,
Eenie, you are not eating all of these marshmallows. Yeah, save some for us, Gobbleguts. Oh, come on, I just wanted a couple. Now we know what you're like with food. Remember what happened with the rations? Oh, that was fine. We found more. Oh, yeah, but we had to kill a bear. We didn't actually kill the bear, to be fair. Well, we didn't have to kill the bear. Yeah, no, it was a whole thing. We were training a newbie, and they just kind of destroyed a bear. Well, they destroyed his confidence, at least.
and yeah, as they're just gonna keep chatting at you, and they're gonna look at you pulling out the marshmallows and gonna say,
oh, hang on, we might have something for this.
and they're gonna reach into their hammer space. Oh my gosh, so dumb. They're gonna reach into the hammer space, and all three heads are gonna pop back out, and they're gonna have 3 red solo cups. Don't ask where they got these. Don't worry about where. But they just kind of like tuk, 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 pop these solo cups on the ground, and they say,
Well, you know, if you want, you can put the hot chocolate in there. Or if you want, we could make a little game out of it instead.
and they give you a little grin.
Sammy leans forward because I feel like he's sat down on another log at this point while making the hot chocolate, and like he just kind of leans forward and grins up at them and goes, "A game, huh?"
like one of them find 'em games. Put a marshmallow under the cup, of different colours, like a white one here or a pink one there, and then one empty.
And as Eenie speaks, one claw just kind of taps on each top of the cup and say,
You put one in each of those, and then, well, you do the shuffle. And, we each pick one, and depending on who picks what, is depending on who gets the marshmallows or not.
And as they say that, they all kind of look at each other with a very competitive gleam in their eye.
Sammy laughs and goes, "Alright, let's do that." And like he's just grinning from ear to ear.
And we also say,
Obviously, if you want, we can do that for you instead. Yeah, if that's the way, I don't know if these marshmallows are flavoured or not. Sometimes you get them in, like, vanilla or strawberry, I think. Yeah, we don't know, we don't actually often get sweets. But if you want, we can do that for you, and you can get, like, a little surprise amount of marshmallows in yours if you want.
Sammy kind of laughs and shakes his head and goes, "I actually don't usually put marshmallows in my hot chocolate, but honestly, me being the ref for you guys sounds really fun."
They all give you a grin, and I say,
Alright then, Mr. Sammy Satomi, if you wanna, be our ref for the day, go ahead and sort this out. And, don't skimp on the marshmallows. Oh yeah, no, load them up for Eenie, because, well, no, don't load them up for Eenie, he doesn't need any more marshmallows. Would you shut it? No!
and, keep gabbing at each other. It's kind of what they do.
I love them so much, dude. I am just, like, Sammy's having a blast. I am having a blast. I'm
glad you're both having fun, but they keep getting distracted with each other. So much. Look, when you travel by yourselves mostly, and the only people you have is each other, you're kind of used to talking to each other mostly.
Yeah, and like Sammy's just having a blast. Like he's usually the one having to like entertain other people, and they're like just going off, and he's just like, these guys are amazing. I love them.
A free man entertainment group, right?
So,
anyways.
How did you want to do this, Mira?
Okay, so I am going to just really quickly roll a d3. Okay.
Cool.
Alright. So, 3 and let's just do a d2 real quick. Alright. 1 and 3 are the magic numbers. Now,
Cool.
I want you to roll for each of them a d3. But if they get the same number, we'll just have them roll whichever number is
We'll
left.
fight for it.
Yeah.
We'll fight for it. Okay, so that's 3d3s then.
Yeah, 3d3s.
Oh, give me a sec.
Okay. So the
Mo
tiebreaker.
Yeah. So Mo picks one, and Miney and Eenie and Miney pick the third one both.
Okay, and before like they lift their cups, Sammy goes, "You can't both pick one. You gotta pick. One of you has to pick the other." So like if you want, like just roll a d2 and see which one gets.
I'm actually gonna do something here. I'm gonna roll intimidation. So they're gonna glare at each other. Oh my god! So that was Mo, Miney, and then Eenie. Okay, yeah, this checks out, cause Eenie glares at Miney, and Miney glares back at Eenie. And after a while, it's just like a stare down, Sammy. You're just watching this happen. You can see like the lightning sparks going between their eyes, like. You can tell out of the two, Eenie kind of has a meaner glare. So Miney just eventually, his eye twitches once, twitches twice, and then just
Fine, alright, you can have that one, Eenie. He's like, yes, of course.
And he very very happily taps the third cup with his beak, and Miney just goes, alright, I'll take number 2, and just taps the middle, before sitting back and waiting for the results.
All right, and the results are in. Number 1 and number 3 had marshmallows. Though number 3 had a bigger handful than number 2. Than number 1, I mean. Like, but they both had like a sizable amount.
Nice. So Mo just kind of smiles very gently and says, "Oh, nice! I got nice fluffy bits. Very cool, nice." And Eenie just he does like the head throwing back, and then as he's doing that, he just leans back forwards and looks at Miney and says,
Oh, I bet you wish you'd won that one, didn't you, Miney?
and he's just doing that mocking cackle as he reaches one of the claws out and just drags the cup over to him, all while staring Miney dead in the eye. And Miney is just deadpan looking at Eenie like,
I didn't want marshmallow.
actually, you know what? I gotta roll something here as well. I gotta roll deception.
Oh no.
I gotta roll deception because he's gonna say, yeah, that's what I thought. It's too obvious on his face.
You know, I didn't want marshmallows anyway.
Sammy's. I'm gonna roll Sammy a real quick sleight of hand.
I'm also gonna roll a sleight of hand.
Okay, that is 14 and 14 plus 6. Sammy actually slides a handful of marshmallows over without the other two noticing.
Cool. Whilst you're doing that, you very clearly notice that Mo is trying to be sneaky about this, but oh man, he's not good at this. He very awkwardly picks the edge of the solo cup up with his beak and just tries to slowly tip it on the ground in front of Miney, but it just kind of clatters onto the floor, and he just very quickly pulls his head back and looks in a different direction and tries to do the sort of whistle. And Miney's not buying it. Miney just kind of gives him a side eye and says,
Thank you, Mo.
What are you talking about, Bubba? I haven't a clue. Well, you know, it's a nice weather out, isn't it? You know, except for the,
You mean except for the chilly cold?
yeah, except for the chilly cold.
yeah, they do that. So I guess this ends up with Eenie and Miney getting marshmallows, and Mo has given up his portion of marshmallows to Miney.
I hold
But he doesn't
hold soft.
look. I will say, you don't have to roll insight on this. If you were to look at Mo, he doesn't seem to mind. Doesn't seem to mind that he's given up his marshmallows. He seems perfectly happy with his little red solo cup of hot chocolate as he takes a sip. I will say, if you're looking at Eenie as he's drinking, there is just like bits of marshmallow stuck to his beak, like all the way up. His whole beak is dyed a bit of brown, and there's specks of hot chocolate on his cheek. He is a little feral man. He has just stuck his beak in like a dog stuck its head in a bowl and just gone kind of deal. And Miney's just drinking his normally. Like, Miney's just chill. Miney and Mo are just chill about this. Has Sammy put anything special on his, or is it just plain old hot chocolate?
It's just plain old hot chocolate. He's a simple boy. He a boy is an urchin. The fact that he's able to have hot chocolate now is like amazing for him.
Hold him so softly. Hold your boy so damn softly. I love him so much.
And I love M so much too. I just
Grab your hands at both of them. So I'd say they finish having their hot chocolate for a bit. I don't know if you wanted to have a discussion or anything. whilst this is going
they
on.
they can totally have like a talk if they want. Like Sammy is just kind of vibing here.
I mean, so whilst you're having your nice sippy of hot chocolate, Sammy, you just kind of see them start talking to themselves again, and you hear snippets of,
Well, I mean, it's not going to be that important, is it?
Well, it could be important. Well, I don't know. It's a little bit, late in the year to be considering it.
Well, I don't know. It might be a good place to check out.
You never know. We always need the new crudes, don't we? Well, yeah, but we need to set up the whole thing first, don't we?
Yeah, but that takes a bit more time.
Do you think Crystal would like that one? Oh, no, I don't think that's quite her colour, mate. I think that's more, yellows and reds sort of thing.
Yeah, she seems more like a blue and green kind of girl.
and just quietly mumbling to themselves as you're having your hot chocolate.
Sammy kind of tilts his head and goes, "Are you guys thinking about Animas presents?"
All three perk their heads up and look at you and says,
Right, Animas, yeah,
Well, you see, it's, I mean,
kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit.
and they just kind of glance at each other, and you can roll insight.
Yeah, he's gonna roll
Right.
insight on that. Oh darn, that's a 5+1.
Ooh, Sammy, buddy. You've just met these guys, so you don't really get much. You just know they're just kind of looking at each other with weird looks on their faces before turning back to you and saying,
Yeah, well, you see,
no, we don't often tend to,
have people to give Animus things to, you see. We're a Roma,
Ranger,
loon,
they look down.
wolf, wolf, bird, yes, bird. No, we're not wolves, we're
we're definitely not a wolf. We promise we're not a wolf dressed as a bird.
We've had that happen once. It was a very strange experience.
We won't judge or anything.
We don't judge people that want to feel, try something new. Yeah, you gotta let them experience new things.
That's how you live and learn and everything.
But anyway, we're not really used to getting Animus gifts for people or given.
So we're a little bit stuck on, ideas, honestly. Fellas, do you think we should...
And Bo kind of looks at Eenie and Miney, and they look back at Bo, and they both sigh and nod and say,
Yeah, we might need a bit of help on this one. I don't think this one's going to be as easy as we thought it was.
and all three heads turn to look at you and say,
Could you help us out?
With this, because we really don't know what we're doing here.
Sammy smiles, and if M wants to roll insight, they can.
"Oh boy, come on, lads, what you got?" "Yeah, that's what I thought. Thought. All 9.
A whole 9. Yeah.
Ooh.
They you get kind of the sense that there is like a little bit of understanding there, but like you don't get like, you mainly just get that like Sammy is willing to help and that he's not judging you for struggling. Like that's all you really get.
Okay.
But
That's
But like for your information, yeah, Sammy completely understands that like nearly 2 years ago he had no idea how to give people presents. I didn't even have money before like a few Animuses ago. I had no one and no money at all. He understands.
He has grown so much. Your boy has grown so much.
I hold up my boy. He has connections now.
Look at him. Look at all his rainbow connections. Look at him shine. In all his glory. Yeah, as you say that and they see that you get it, they kind of slump a little, and they kind of shuffle a bit closer to you. And as they do, you can feel that you feel like their body brush against you, and they are surprisingly warm. Apparently, getting near that fire and chugging those hot chocolates have radiated their body heat up real high, because they are very soft and warm at the moment as they just kind of brush against your arm and say,
I would appreciate any help you've got, lad, because,
Yeah, honestly, this one's a bit of a... Well, she's a bit tough. Well, I know exactly what we should get her. No, your ideas are dumb, Eenie. She's not gonna want a home recommendation.
we tried that and she hated it.
No, that wasn't a home redecoration. That was us, well, using...
and they just kind of stop as they glance at you, and then back to themselves.
We were just, flat watching for her while she was
Doing important business.
And they all just look at each other and nod very, very solemnly.
Sammy's gonna roll insight on that.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
That is an 11 plus 1.
Cool, with a 12. There is definitely a little bit more to that than just watching the flat. You don't really know them very well, so you don't know what that could possibly mean. But from what you've seen of how they first appeared to you and how they have been talking to you now, it could be anything. It really could be anything.
Sammy just kind of snorts to himself and like shakes his head and goes, okay, why don't you describe her to me?
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, she's a real firecracker.
Well, she's more like a glass cutter for the way she speaks sometimes. Well, yeah, but that's just part of her charm, you know.
Yeah, she's real charming.
Well, she tries to be. No, she doesn't. She doesn't try to be charming, does she?
Yeah, but that's also part of her charming, that she doesn't have any charm. She's really happy just being herself and,
Getting the job done, and she's very into medicine and healing. Yeah, she's very, good at that sort of thing. She's studying at college, I think. Yeah,
she's living in a college dorm at the moment.
and she likes music. Oh, yeah, she likes music. She's got a keyboard.
And she's got a bookcase full of weird books, and honestly, they're really cool books.
They're not cool books, they're mine. No, I've forgotten my own name. Yeah, sometimes it happens with the hot chocolate. Yeah, sorry about that. Sugar makes us feel a little bit weird.
Yeah, we don't often have that out in the wild. It's usually, like nuts and strips of jerky and occasionally some greens.
You can keep the greens, I want the meat.
Yeah, we know, Miney, we know, Eenie. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, they really like, books and research and things, and they're very driven.
And they work very, very hard, and, it's, they're very driven. And,
You kind of look at each other and look back and you say,
there's not really much else you can say, I don't think,
Except for the fact that they let us stay with them on occasion. I mean, that's a sign of a good heart, right?
Yeah, Sammy's just smiling again at Eenie, Miney Mo, and he goes, alright, since she works a bit, and she likes books, you could maybe get her a book or maybe even a notebook so she can continue to write down all of her notes and lessons and such. Or you said she likes music, so you could also get her some music. You might actually, since you said that she is pretty driven, she might need a break. So I think you should probably get maybe some music, the same type of music that you've seen her like.
I will say, as you mention the word take a break, all three of them just tilt their heads and wince, and they're like,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mention that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, like we said, she's really, really driven, and
Mentioning for her to take a break or to slow down does not end well, trust me. It's not the kind of outcome you want, and
wouldn't make a great Animas gift. She more likely
just well, probably lock us out of the apartment, which wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, we know how to get in through our windows.
It's not really that hard. She needs to learn to lock her windows a bit more.
We'll get better locks.
But anyway, it's not exactly, not a thing that she would appreciate, I don't think.
Yeah, no, he's a...
Some might call it a workaholic.
And they lift their fingers up in air, like their little toes up in air quotes when they say that, and say, before quickly tucking their foot back underneath them, and say,
I don't think they'd appreciate a break so much.
you know, it's... The music stuff, she's kind of like...
She's very, don't know if she's selective about that sort of thing. I mean, we know she's got a keyboard, so I think she plays.
We're pretty certain she plays.
We've never heard her play. She does have, like, music sheets and stuff.
But we're not really, we don't know what exactly would be her thing.
And, I mean, the only other thing we have got is,
and I'm gonna roll E10. You see the middle head Miney with the mohawk bend their head backwards into their ruff. You hear like a rummaging sound, like a crash, rumble, bang, screech, wow, sort of noise, and they pull their head back out and they plonk something down, not next to you, but they kind of hand it to Mo, who plonks it down as far away as he can reach in the snow outside of the barrier they've made, and they look back at you and say,
we have got a box of, little odds and ends we've collected as our adventures.
and they kind of gesture at the box, a little, it's almost, actually, no, don't worry about that, never mind what I was saying there. They look at the box, and then they look back at you, and say,
We have gathered a load of odds and ends from our adventures, and on one of these occasions, we may have found something she might like.
But, well, we couldn't really tell if it was something she'd be super interested in, so
We're not certain if she'd appreciate that as an Animas gift. We don't really want to push or assume anything.
because again, she's, well, she can be a bit,
High-strung. Well, it's true. I mean, it's true, we shouldn't bloody say it.
yeah, she gets like...
I mean, she appreciates honesty.
and if you want, you can examine what they've pulled out.
Yeah, Sammy is, what do you want me to roll? Like, investigation or arcana?
Investigation works.
Alright.
But you can also roll Arcana if you want. It's up to you.
Well, let me look at the modifier. Both of them are a straight D20, and he got a 2.
Oh, Sammy, it's just a box. Sammy, it's just a little jewellery box they popped down. Oh, you have no idea if this is magical or not. You don't know if there's anything weird about it. It's just a tiny little jewellery box. I will say if they see you looking, they're going to look at the box and then back at you and say,
Did you want to see what
kind of odds and ends we've gathered up?
because I think the results might surprise you a little bit.
Sammy kind of just, he tilts his head and goes, well, if it made you think of her, that honestly has meaning all of its own.
and they pause, kind of tilt their heads to the side in synchrony and just sort of think about that. And then they look back to each other and then to you and say,
Well, you see,
On the time we were pet sitting for her, he may have accidentally brought. Well, not accidentally, we definitely did it on purpose. Well, we sort of did it on purpose.
we mostly did it by accident.
Well, sort of on purpose by accident. We might have, taken a load of things out of her space and accidentally kind of made a mess of her apartment.
And, there was a lot of stuff.
We've been on a lot of adventures.
Yeah.
We've been to a lot of places.
And, some of that stuff was, it was maybe okay. Maybe.
Some of that stuff might have been good. Maybe. I mean, she likes studying magical things, so she did get quite a few magical things. But there was one thing in particular I think she might have liked.
But it's kind of hard to know if she would actually wear it is the issue.
And they just continue to mutter amongst themselves as they continue on.
If you think that she might like it, and if she might find it interesting, I think it might be worth a shot.
They look at each other again, kind of silently communicating with their eyes. You do see, like, it's kind of weird. It's not like it's just like a meeting of the eyes. This is like a silent tune conversation, so it is incredibly exaggerated. There are eyebrows going boing boing, and eyebrows going and eyebrows going like wiggly. They're going like angry faces. They're going off of model. They're floating off to the side. You hear like weird cranking noises. It's just a very strange kind of meeting of the third of a mind going on at the moment. Before they look back at you and say,
All right, you know what? I think we're gonna show you what we've got.
And then, if you wouldn't mind, just helping us choose a few bits, and, well, you can see how they work with what we wanted to do.
And obviously, if you know, if you need any help with anything,
We're always around and helpful, always happy to help,
and you're clearly very helpful, and you've got a good range of spirit about you. So yeah, if you need any help with anything, you give us a shout, yeah.
and they are gonna stand up, no longer wobbly because they are very warm now, and they're gonna walk over to this box, and they're gonna look back at you and say,
Sammy, you might want to just shuffle a little back. You might want to just back on the tree.
and they just kind of point to the furthest point of the fireplace, fire pit where the tree is.
Sammy is gonna listen to them. He's not stupid.
Cool. You scoot back, and then you see them kind of shuffle up to the box, take a deep breath, and say,
All right, lads, on three, all right. You know how it goes.
Yeah, we know how it goes.
We know how it goes.
1, 2, and they tap the top of the box, and you just see them bolt into the air. Ooh, okay. That was an acrobatics. That's not too terrible. They bolt up into the air, and you see this jewelry box. You see the lid fling open, and nothing happens for a second before you hear like a rumble, and you feel the rumble go through the ground, and it rumbles so much that a few more bits of snow from the trees surrounding the clearing just fall onto the ground, and you can feel some of the snow parts on the tree underneath you also thump in little piles next to you before one just sizzles as it lands into the fire pit, as this jewelry box shakes, and in a seeming burst, multiple layers come legging out, like multiple arms, multiple boxes, like multiple ring boxes. It's just boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and shapes and legs and arms and like little struts and such. This is a gigantic jewelry box here. And this is Eenie, Money and Mo's disguise kit as well. So this has so many bits and bobs. There are ribbons, there are baubles, there are little gemstones, some real, probably, maybe, who knows, some most likely fake and rhinestoney. There are ribbons, I probably said that, there's glitter, there's glue, there's many different types of clothes, which absolutely not a single one fit this bird, I can tell you that for now, for certain. It's just an absolute wardrobe's worth of stuff popping out in multiple boxy layers, in a spiral pattern from where this box has been plunked down. And with a 14, they just about manage to get out of it. They only just like get clipped on the tail, in which they go, "Aye!" As they jump out. before turning back to the boxes, looking at Sammy and saying,
Oh, do you wanna
and they just kind of gesture and say,
have a look? See if you can find anything.
If you want, you find anything you like.
Feel more than free to take it. It's, you know, that we've got a lot of stuff. We don't always use all of it.
So if you can find a better use for it, go ahead.
Sammy's gonna walk over and like he's just kind of like there's like a like you know like when you kind of whistle while impressed, like he does that. I cannot whistle, so I cannot actually make the sound effect, but he does whistle impressed, like wow.
pat you. I pat you so much. So yeah, if you want, let me see. Give me a moment. I'm trying to find the list of stuff because there is a lot. There is a whole lot. So what would you think Sammy would be looking for?
Well, considering for this medical lady, probably something that would either help her with her work or maybe help her just kind of like relax a little bit, but like not in a way that's like super obvious that, oh, you need to relax, you know? Like just something to like listen to or something while she's working, because sometimes you need to listen to something while you work.
Okay. Let me see. Roll me an investigation quick.
All right. Okay.
Sure,
Ooh,
doing that.
that's a lot better roll than like what he would have gotten a while ago. That was a 19.
Nice. So yeah, you have a sniff around, you have a look, and in terms of like musical stuff, there isn't a whole lot. There is one box that is just an assortment of like brass instruments. You've got like a single very old saxophone, a trumpet that looks pretty well used, and for some reason you don't know why these are in here. You also see like a few kazoos and a vuvuzela. You don't know why those are in there. And in terms of like other musical bits and bobs, there's no actual like music sheets or records or anything like that. It is just like decorative things. Like there's a box of like needles and yarn and crochet materials and thread. There's sequins. Like there's all sorts of stuff like that. All sorts of things, like little knickknacks like that. But in terms of musical stuff, not so much.
With the 19, would he have maybe found like an interesting little notebook or something?
You know what? As you go through these boxes, you will find there is just a box of papers and stuff, and they're all just like scrappy bits of paper. There are a couple of torn pages of like what looks to be like an old comic book. You can't quite read what any of it says, but it's like old and torn. There's also like really old scrolls in here, like really, really old. Like if you feel like if you touched them the wrong way, they would crumble. Kind of old. There are some even in like glass cases, are just rolled up and kept there. There is also, let me see, where did I put this? Hang on, it's in my hammer space. Where is that? Except it's not my hammer space because it's in this box of hammer space. There we go. You find amongst the many bits and bobs, you find first of all you find a spell scroll that says HM02 on it. You don't know what that means, but you look at it and you can't sense any magic coming from it, so you kind of just, you don't know if that's anything useful. You probably think it's not super useful. You find a poster of a red and yellow bee with drills for hands and a very large stinger, it posing in a very heroic fashion, and it says, I'm going to post this because it might be hard to say in recording. It says, yeah, post it. Come on, I copied you. Now you post it. Okay, it says, be bold, be brave, be bunted. Let me just copy this. And I know, let me see. There we go. That's what I want. Thank you. And what's the last bit? There we go. All right. And the last bit, you see in this box as well is a bubble. It's a bubble of some sort, and it's like a bubble shape, like the speech bubbles they sell in yours. Bubble shaped like that. And if you pull it out, it says, where does it say? There it is. It says you can't use that right now. Which you don't think is going to be super useful either. So unfortunately, in terms of like musical and paper and notebook stuff, there's not a lot.
Sammy just kind of goes, Like he's thinking and going. Yeah, he's thinking because he doesn't really have any real idea as to finding something that would be good? Question mark.
I'm just gonna roll insight with these lot. Guys, please roll high. Guys.
All you
Sammy.
can tell is that he's thinking.
Okay. They kind of come over to you and they just step very cautiously between all these boxes because they are literally everywhere. It is very hard stepping through some of these things at the moment, and they might just like ting trip on a box and almost catch themselves before making their way over to you and say,
Well, I know it's a lot of stuff to go through.
So if you can't find anything, don't feel too much pressure about it. It's fine. But yes, if you have found anything, that'd be great. But if not, don't worry about it. We'll figure something out, all right?
and as they do that, you just feel like a tap, 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 one on each shoulder and then one on your head. You just feel like the tap, 3 taps there.
Just Sammy blinks and like he kind of just like tilts his head and goes, I'm not thinking that anything that I've found will really help a lot, but the thing is that with Animas, it's even if you made something like a cute arts and crafts and like you made it in her in mind, that does mean something. Like, it's not a meaningful gift to give something that you make or something that you look at and go, oh, that reminds me of them.
And did you say that? Just kind of tilt their heads to the side and think about this for a bit before dying and going,
Right, okay, yeah. I suppose that does make some sense, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to get her something that she'd like, you always want to get something you like, and sometimes effort is good, and sometimes even if it's a thing you don't necessarily want, maybe do you think she'd
and he glances at the other two, and they have another one of their silent conversations for a couple of seconds before they all let out a and look back at Sammy and say,
Well, I think we might have to think about this one a little bit more, matey.
Yeah, thanks for your help, Sammy. Even just taking a look, so really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's sometimes these sorts of things just, well, I suppose asking a complete stranger to help us choose things for Animas might have been a bit of a push, yeah.
Might not have been the best option on our part now that I'm thinking about it.
and they're just gonna kind of put one of the necks is just gonna like go around your shoulder, and they're just gonna very slowly try to lead you out of this absolute traps maze of boxes as they keep talking and saying,
Yeah, well, I suppose this is just something we have to figure out ourselves, Sammy.
We appreciate you having a look. Obviously, it's a great deal of help. Thank you very much. But yes, of course, we shouldn't have taken up so much of your time just to trying to figure out our problems.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Dave is so rude. I can't believe he done this.
This is highly irregular for us, I assure you.
Yes, no, we are the heroes here. Yes, no, we don't drag other people in our problems. It's not our sort of thing. No, 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 no.
Yeah, no, we help you. We help
Now-
other people out.
You deserve help, and I'm sorry that I can't help you as much as I wanted to, but having a look around and spending time with you is not a waste. And if you need to keep thinking about this gift, that's completely okay. And if you know some of her other friends, maybe you guys can stick all of your heads together and think of something, because I don't really know her, uh, so I don't have as good of a spark as to what she might like. But if you think that she might like something, then why not take a chance and go for it?
And as you're saying that, and as they're leading you out of this absolute forest of boxes, and many shifting sort of stilted hands, kind of again they look at each other. One head kind of looks, because one of their necks has gone from like around your shoulder, and their head is resting on one of your shoulders. It's Mo, by the way, shaggy head lad, who has done this, and they all just kind of look at each other and. Yeah, you feel a nod against your head, and you see the other two on this like,
Yeah, you're probably right on that front, Sammy.
And also, you haven't been unhelpful either. Yeah, I mean, you did give us hot chocolate. That's very, very helpful, very useful, very good. Very good indeed.
Yeah, it's, we're not trying to say you're a waste of time or nothing. Of course not. It's been brilliant meeting you.
Yeah, you're a right go-getter, you are.
you'd fit right into our guild, I tell you what. And they just keep mammering on as they lead you out, and they say,
Tell you what, actually, Sammy, tell you what.
and they just like kick the box, and the last box out as they keep walking out, and you hear like a rumble 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 rumble, and then it all clatters back into a small tiny box, which they reach back with one of their legs, pick up, and tuck into the ruff around their neck. And I'm gonna roll another hand space because of course I have.
Oh, a fumble!
Oh boy! Oh lads! Oh lads! Oh lads! Miney dives his head back in. Oh my gosh, really? Miney dives his head back into his hammer space, and he pulls out the box again. He looks very confused, and then looks at the other two and says, "Oh, Eenie, we didn't move it. Just go back in there." And you just see, Eenie bonk Miney on the head and push him back into the rough before rolling his eyes and saying, "Oh, if you can't do something like the first time, I'll go do it." And I'm gonna roll another d10. 7, cool. So you see the middle. You see Miney kind of ruffle around in the middle before popping out with
Fine, that's what I get for trying to do things the proper way, Eenie.
and you just hear a muffled "Shut up, Miney!" as Eenie pops back out and says, "I believe this is what you're looking for." And in his mouth, he kind of holds out a little thing for Sammy.
And Sammy will take it. Like, his shading has turned to a kind of bright what is his curiosity color is, I think, a light blue. I think I currently don't have his actual color. I don't have his color chart in front of me, so I'm just gonna say it's like a bright, curious blue.
Valid, and I pat you very much. Hold out this thing to you, and they're holding out a badge or a pin of some sort. The first thing you notice about it is that there are what looks like little wings coming off of the side, and the badge itself is slightly lopsided, a little misshapen kind of thing. It's made of some kind of metal, and in the center of it, there is a circle, and in that circle, there is a purple background and a bright yellow R in the middle of this little pin. And the Eenie Money will continue in saying,
Well, we think that you are very well deserving of something like this.
So, and it's a little invitation for us.
and they gesture at the badge.
So if you're ever around and you wanna, say hello or get involved or show people that you mean business
And you arrange a proper, true, a real, proper hero.
And as they do that, they puff out their chests and say,
well, now you have the proof right there.
and yeah, they have given you a ranger badge.
I am so soft, dude. I love them so much. And like Sammy is like, you don't have to roll insight. He is absolutely touched by this. And he like, is it like, are you able to like pin it to your clothes at all?
Oh, it's a pin. It's a badge and a pin. So it it's actually kind of weird. There are actually a few ways you can do this. If you look at the back, there is both a pin and also a slide pin. So you can either take the end off and then stick the pin through and then clip it that way, or you can do the slider pin where you slide it through your clothes and then hook it. But if you do it via the pulling off the end, putting that behind your clothes and then slotting the pin in, you can kind of tell there's like a weird little magnet sort of thing. So if you do it that way, it's going to be a lot harder for this thing to fall off. But you get the impression Eenie Mo kind of wanted some options with how this can be applied.
I think for now, like just how Sammy's bundled up, he is gonna use the slide pin to put it on his clothes. But like you also get the impression that like once he's inside, that's gonna be more securely fastened.
As you put it on immediately, you also don't have to roll. You see these three are both kind of surprised and very, very happy you have just immediately put it on your clothes. They are just like, you can see them kind of vibrating a little as they stand looking at you, and they've got big pecking smiles on their faces. They say,
Oh, it's been wonderful having you, Sammy. Honestly, it's not often we get to just sit down and talk with people.
Well, sitting down and talking ain't exactly our strong suit.
We're more of the leg it and go sort of type.
and they give you a wry little grin.
And honestly, Sammy's like grinning right back, and he looks at you and goes, I am absolutely honored to be included in your guild.
Oh gosh. Oh, give me a second. I gotta roll something here. Come on, lads. The one time I want you to fail a thing. Hey! Say. Okay. So, you see, they're all very much trying to put on a brave face, but you see that Mo's mouth is just kind of wibbling. You hear like a noise coming from him, and you see the very, very slight shine of like slight watery eyes coming from both Eenie and Miney as they look at you and say,
Yeah, no, of course, it's an honour to have you too with us, mate.
It's wonderful that you took so quickly to it.
And of course, it's an honour both for you to join us and for us to have you, and it's
Very good, and thank you very much for accepting this invitation
to future, well, I suppose collaborations, rescue ranger team. Honestly, it kind of depends on
where we end up.
and they all give you a very watery laugh. For looking back at the fire, which I will say has probably dimmed by now, both from the snow thumping nearby when the box opened, and just kind of not being fed as we were busy doing other stuff. They look back at that and they look at you, Sammy, and they say,
Well, don't know about you, but if you like, you've been real helpful today, Sammy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it a whole lot. So, if it's not too much trouble, you don't have to, of course. We understand it can be a bit uncomfortable for people to be guided by strangers. But if you'd like,
You can give you a quick escort home just to make sure you don't get jumped.
and they crouch down on the ground and look at you.
Sammy, like, smiles really softly at that, but he does actually pause and look at the fire and then go, you might want to... fire safety. He is thinking about fire safety.
I'm not gonna roll inside, I'm just gonna say they can see this. They look at you and they look back at the fire and they're like,
Oh yeah, no, of course we'll take care of that.
and give me a moment, I've got to roll something. Where are you? +5, cool. I mean, it's not like they're not gonna hit this thing, but and that's gonna be yeah. Choose one of the d8s. 1d8 +6, cool. Yeah, that definitely hits. I'm just doing this for overkill flavour at the moment, let's be fair. Because you're just going to see them turn their heads back over their shoulders like,
Oh yeah, we should probably put that out.
oh yeah, go right, lads, you ready?
and you just feel a weird energy come from between the three of them. And you see their mouths open slightly, and you see a red, a blue, and a yellow glow slowly come from their mouths and form a little triangle in the middle between between their heads. And so that's 2d8 +6. They are going to use a cold chaos bolt and fire it at this bonfire. And well, there's 12 damage.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that takes care of the fire.
Fire is extinguished. Fire is, you just see like a jet of ice come from the triangulated point between these three heads, and you see the fire freeze, ice, and then just fall over the solid block. So that was just a block of iced fire just in the woods. But don't worry, it's fine. The minute it's exposed to air, the water will just put it out. And the three heads turn back towards you and say,
And then that's taken care of.
I don't know if you fancy the lift.
I've heard it's quite a bit of fun, apparently.
and again they gesture towards where they're still crouched on the floor.
And Sammy's gonna take them up on their offer, and like you get like this beaming smile towards you, and like he does hop on, and like he's just he is very happy to have made this friend. I hope you know, do. Like, he's just so happy with this tune, with these tunes. Like, just
They are incredibly happy to have met a kind soul in the woods. So damn happy to have met Sammy. He's such a kind lad. And they didn't immediately try to poke them when they came at him with covered in snow. And they helped them build the fire, and then he tried to help them choose stuff, and he has earned their respect. They are very glad that they met this random toon out in the woods on a wander. So many new friends can be met just wandering in the wilds.
Yep.
It's kind of why they do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, as you hop onto their backs, you will see Eenie look back at you and give you a bit of a smirk and say,
You might want to hold on.
and they're going to tap themselves on the chest, and then they are going to, hey buddies, can you still do this? Where is that on your sheet? Yes, they can. They basically have cast Longstrider on themselves, and now they use the Expeditious Retreat. So, roll me a strength or a dex save, please.
Okay, we're going with strength here because 17 plus 6.
Oh damn! instinct kicks in with a 23, Sammy. Your thighs just like lock onto the sides of this guy, and your fingers just dig very as deep as you can reach into this almost endless ball of fluff as they lift one leg off and say, "Onwards and upwards we go!" And they just dash off into the woods. I will say, do you want to roll me a survival very quickly as well? Because
Yeah,
they
we're
don't
gonna.
actually know where they're going here. They know you're. They don't know where you live. As far as they know, you live in UPA.
Yeah, so six. That's a 21. Sammy he does give directions to where the House of Paint is currently in Villestown.
Nice. Okay. So as you guide them towards Villestown, and they just kind of through the boundary of the city. I'm gonna have to roll a quick something for them simply because of where they are. I'm gonna have that be that. Come on, lads. Okay, it's decent. They don't get run over. So can kind of tell from the way they're running through, they're probably not used to running in urban environments because they're not taking notice of certain things like cars. They do some last minute jumps when they just kind of run out into the road without stopping and then just kind of jump on the hood of a car and then hopscotch to another car and another car and another car, and they kind of just hop onto the hood of a lorry and then off of that across the road before dashing off again. And I will say, I am very sorry, but they have knocked a few people over. You hear a general ruckus and a, "Hey, slow down! Where the hell are you guys going so quickly?" And it's just, yeah. They are also kind of laughing their heads off a bit at this as they're running through, following your directions back to the House of Paint.
Just say there's just a moment where Sammy just has to bury his face in fluff to try and hide his laughter.
You can hide your face, Sammy, but you can't hide your hair, lad. Actually, you can hide your hair. You've only got the two locks poking out.
Yep, and like he laughs like he has to laugh like just like bless them so much. Like he just they're so toony and so vibrant and he loves them so much. And like I will say that like the House of Paint is kind of hung up in a park area, and it's a cottage. Since there is enough space for the House of Paint to be more of like an actual house, you see as like you approach, like it's very covered in snow, but there's still rainbow flowers covered like with like mildly dusted with snow, but like crawling up the side of this cottage. And like there's like rainbow flowers on ivy, and it looks really really cozy. And also, oh yeah, this is definitely his house. It's rainbow.
Oh, so they do not, in fact, go and do that very stop-start motion. They do slow down gradually because they have a passenger and they know better than to do that. And they just kind of very slowly form a trot and then like a sprint to a trot to a walk as they come up towards this cottage. And they crouch back on the ground again and they kind of lean their heads out. So if Sammy needs a hand getting down, he can lean his hand on one of their heads to pop down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I honestly just picture that he just slides generally off of their back.
It's just like,
yep. Like he might.
He's not far fall. They're literally just on the ground, so it's just like, it's like going down the stairs. It's just like from one step to the next.
Yep. Yeah. He just slides off, and he looks at them and like kind of just gently pats their side, like into their fluff, and goes, "Thank you for the lift. I will send you letters. The loyal airplanes have ways of finding people. Because me and my brother, we're here for a little bit, but we're gonna be leaving probably in a bit. We have a birthday celebration to get to eventually.
At the mention of paper aeroplanes, they look kind of surprised. You can actually no, I won't have you roll insight. It's nearing the end of the FPS, I think. You look at them and you can tell immediately the idea that someone would send them a letter that would find them no matter where they are is definitely a very new concept for them. You don't think they've had anything like that happen before. You don't think they've had letters sent to them like that before. But once you start talking about the birthday, they all perk up and say,
Our birthday, oh, pecking. Excellent, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, look, you gotta make sure that, make sure you're all prepared for that. It's an important day, birthdays, apparently. No, yes, you need to make sure the streamers are set up correctly and the balloons are the correct colour. You need to make sure the tables are positioned apart so that, some children that don't get along can stay over there.
Well, who said it was for children? They never said it was for children.
Yeah, you don't know what's doing.
Well, I don't know. It could be for adults, in which case it's even more so
the case, and they start bickering to each other as they do.
It's for a kid, yes. Our friend Bevan. But if you want, you can roll insight.
Cool. Come on. Okay, decent. Thank
All
you.
right. You can tell though by the birthday, talking about the birthday, he's genuinely happy that he's going to be celebrating this Bevan's birthday. But there is also a mild sense of determination and mild unease that you can kind of pick up slightly just from like how his expression has kind of firmed at the end, and he goes, "We might expect some trouble because just there's some plot shenanigans starting to stir as we get closer to the birthday. But me and my brother and our friends, we're gonna make sure that Bevan's safe and that everybody walks out fine and happy."
As you start to tense up, as you start talking about this, you see the smiles on their face get a little dimmer, and then they're looking at you with very serious expressions on their faces as you start talking about the plot and expecting trouble, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Ominous. But these three don't really know what's going on in that zone. They only know that you are anticipating some bad vibes, bad mojo, bad plot tides are coming. And they look to each other and they look to you, and yeah, I am gonna do this. Yeah, they are gonna do this. Of course they're gonna do this. They look to you and they are gonna say,
Sammy, I don't know how this birthday thing's gonna go. We hope it goes well for you.
Yeah, obviously we hope the birthday goes well for you, and hopefully the child this is for, it goes off without a hitch and everything goes fine.
But if it doesn't, we're always just I suppose a paper plane away.
And if you do need the backup well, we're pretty speedy in case you hadn't noticed.
they tap one of their feet against the ground.
So we can get to you as soon as we can.
Help out if you need it.
And
If someone like you out there looking out for them and making sure that this birthday goes off without a hitch,
well, I think if your friends are anything like you as well, and in terms of offering your help and their aid and, well, support,
I think this birthday party is, I think it'll turn out just fine, Sammy.
people like you out there, and well, if your friends are anything like you as well, I think even if it does go a little wonky, we'll be able to sort it out and put it to rights.
because, you're a good person. Means you're a ranger at heart.
Rangers at heart. Heroes.
And they all kind of reach their neck, like Eenie and Mo put their necks around you, and Miney sort of rests his head on the top of yours, and this is just for flavor. I don't know if you can even use this. They're gonna cast Bardic Inspiration on you.
Oh. I'll have to talk to Wick and see if that would be able to carry over at all. It might not, but oh, that is so sweet. Oh, dude. I love them.
Look! You're gonna go off on your own mission, and they see that. They recognize that. They know the face of someone who's got a mission ahead, and they respect that. Okay?
Yeah,
And they have met you, and you're a kind soul, and you are definitely a ranger at heart, and they want to make sure that you can fucking do what you gotta do.
dude, like, I am, like, full on just, like, clutching my chest. I am full of soft emotions right now. Like, Sammy is so touched. He's just gonna, like, wrap his arms as much as he can around the fluff and hug you back. Like, just, oh my gosh, he loves this bird. He loves this ranger with all of his heart. Like, holy peck. And I am pointing at you, dude. Like, when I get a few like mystery game ideas, you bet your fluffy butt that Sammy is going to be calling this bird for help, because I love them. I love them so
love
much.
Well, they care you a great deal. They respect you a great deal. There's a reason they offered you that badge. You have proven to them that you are selfless. You go out of your way to help someone, a complete stranger at that, who appeared threatening at first, and that you're honest and you're kind. And those are important traits for a ranger to have, and it's only right that you should get your own badge, and you should at least have the offer. And they recognize, if not a kindred spirit, at least someone who may be going into a rough time and needs that extra little bit,
Yeah, like, I hold them so soft, dude. I hope you know they are such good birds. They are such good lads. Like,
only try their best, okay? They try their best. I will also say, if Sammy is hugging around the middle head, that's Miney's, and his ruff is kind of it's like prickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hurtful, but I don't know what Sammy's got long sleeves on, so I don't know if this would be bad for sensitive touch-wise. But it is a little prickly if you're hugging around the middle neck. But they are hugging you back and giving you a squeeze.
Yeah, like, I don't really think he minds, honestly. Like, he's just, like, he gives a hug, and then, like, he kind of steps back a little bit, and he just looks at you all and goes, thank you, again. And I will definitely be sending you I will be sending you guys a letter, letting you know how everything turns out. Ranger's honor.
Oh, that last bit, you just see great wide grins from all three of them, and they say,
However it turns out, of course you let us know.
No, I mean, we're only a paper aeroplane away, apparently. So, yeah. Luck with your mission, Angst Satomi.
and they pick themselves up from the ground, and all three of them once again just like dunk 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 donk you on the head before turning on their heel and casting over their shoulder one last
See you around, Sammy.
Don't be a stranger.
You'll see us when you see us.
and darting off. And I've got to roll one more thing because of course I do. Because of course I do. I can't leave until I make one last roll. +1 to it. Okay. What you get? Okay. So if that's the case, you see them go out of sight, to the park entrance and around the corner. And
Mm-hmm.
as you hear them run away, you do hear a and with that, you see all the snow from around you lift an inch off the ground, and the snow that was on your cottage, Sammy, not only does it lift an inch off the ground, it just moves an inch to the side off of your house, and then into the floor around you. So now you have a nice clear house and piles of snow surrounding it.
Sammy just kind of like thwarts and like rubs his head and then goes like, Arata probably is awake by now. Like that's sure to have woken him up.
I just Avi. I don't know if Avi is going to listen to this, but I can imagine Arana's just asleep, and then there's like a "Achoo!" echo, and then thump, and he just shoots off in bed like what? What happened? What's going on?
Yeah, and
She
like
just like meow.
just Genie is just like what?
Genie does that cat in the air.
Yeah.
Meow.
Yeah,
Sort of sort of thing.
yeah, just like Sammy just has to laugh, and I feel like that, like just like like how in cartoons there'll be like the circle zooming in, like on his face, grinning, and then it just goes boop, and it's black. Like I feel like that's how it ends.
Yes. Excellent. Oh my word. Oh Mira, this was so good.
This was absolutely delightful, dude. Like my cheeks hurt from grinning throughout this whole entire thing.
I'm so glad you had fun. I won't lie, I was kind of worried a few little bits about this, but I am glad that you had fun
Oh,
overall.
this was
I'm-
delightful. This was absolutely delightful, dude. I had a blast. Thank you again for like just being willing to let me like go like, hey, we talked about this. We wanted this to happen. Like, and just thank you for being patient with me.
Dude, you're so welcome. Sammy is in plot right now. Sammy is in plot hell. Planning is difficult, and also things happen that makes other things happen that makes other things happen,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah,
He's a
like
busy lad.
he is a busy lad, and I'm just like sitting here going like, wait, dude, we wanted to do a thing. Grabs you. Hey, let's do this. I know it's the holidays, but let's do it.
It's a good one. Look, this was soft and it was good for the holidays.
Yes, it was like
And good quality
yes,
FPS.
yes. This was a fantastic FPS. Like I just, I hold your trio of three just so soft. Again, thank you so much, and thank you everyone who's gonna listen to this later. I hope you had a blast as much as I
Sure.
did.
I sure hope the same. This has been an up and down kind of FPS, man. Things happened I didn't expect to happen. I'm not gonna lie, I expected a snowball fight. But Sammy was like, no, you're having hot chocolate, sit down, shut up.
Yep. No, like you had them be sick. Of course, the cleric side of him was going to be like, you know what? No, you are sitting your butt down. You are going to sit by this fire. You are going to warm up. And then, like, he was like thinking about it and going, maybe we'll have a snowball fight after you warm up. But then the Animas gift conversation happened, and he was like, nope, we're helping with this now.
Consider you can do the snowball fight later.
Oh yes, definitely. We can definitely have another FPS where it's just them having a snowball fight.
So I think we can end it there. Again, thank
Yes.
you everyone for listening. This has been an absolute pecking joy. Thank you so much for doing this with this me with this with the I can't speak. This with me, Mira. It's been delightful. I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone listening. Thank you, future listeners, for listening, and I hope you have a really good day, whether it's a holiday time or not. Farewell, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.